All right, so wow, my hair is messy tonight. Anyway, I am here in the movie library. Welcome to another edition of the Movie Club. We are here and we are live, and I'm going to be talking about a few different things tonight. I wanted to take at least one Saturday, at least once a month, and kind of talk about different things that have kind of come on the radar for me. Some of it's going to be movie related, some of it may not be movie related. Actually, some of it tonight isn't going to be. But we're going to be looking at some unheralded box sets here. Basically, when I do a lot of my videos, and I do a lot of collection overviews and stuff like that, I do things on film noir, do things on horror, I do things on classic films, and there can be things that kind of fall, either gets missed on during that video, or just falls under the radar, kind of flies in between one of the different categories, and never really quite makes it into a video overall. So I wanted to talk about some of those unheralded box sets tonight. I'll start off with the movie that I watched first, and that's not it is kind of a box set, but it's not really a box set. It's a film thing. It's a one film set, and that movie, by the way, guys, is Shock Treatment. If you have not seen this, actually, there's two editions of this. Came out, the Cosmo edition and the Nation edition. So this is Cosmo right here, of course, played by Richard E. Bryan, and this is the gorgeous. You definitely can believe she's on the top of the Google Doc list, Jessica Harper. This, by the way, is a fantastic release. If you're into kind of weird different musicals, then definitely pick up Shock Treatment. If you like Rocky Horror, definitely pick up Shock Treatment, because it's by the same guy. And as the promotional work said, it's not a prequel, it's not a sequel, it's an equal. So there you go with that. It's what's really shocking, pun intended, about this film is that it's really prophetic, super prophetic when it comes to the stuff that it says with what's going on right now. Yeah, Shock Treatment pretty much got the whole everybody's their own star reality television, YouTube reality TV sensation thing by about 20 years, early. And it's really shows in here. It definitely goes through mirrors a lot of what goes on in society now. There's even a kind of a me song, and it's dead on to a lot of what we see and what we go through now. Now, Shock Treatment is a very different film than the Rocky Horror Picture Show. Rocky Horror Picture Show was a loving tribute to not just burgeoning sexuality, but actually to films and the RKO film era of the cheap Z-grade horrors and sci-fi at the time. You read Richard Bryan? This is actually really cool, Wolf. It's very different than Rocky Horror. So don't go expecting Rocky Horror. This movie failed when it was in the box office, and I'll tell you exactly why it failed. It failed because they tried to replicate what in the marketing what Rocky Horror was. This never played during regular time when it came out. This always played midnight screenings. They tried to force this into a cult status. You can't force a cult film to happen. It has to happen organically. The more you force a certain thing onto a person, the more they'll end up rejecting it. Just ask the WWE and their booking in the last 10 years, and you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Unfortunately, they did that because this is actually a pretty damn good film. It has some great songs in it, and it's not as light, and it's different. It's a harder watch than Rocky Horror in some ways, but for me, it's a little bit more. It's a little bit deeper, and I don't know if it was intended at the time, but basically, this is Janet. So if you've seen Rocky Horror Picture Show, you know, of course, Susan Sarandon, and oh, it's killing me now. And Barry Bostwick played Brad, Janet and Brad and Janet. In this film here, Janet is played by the gorgeous Jessica Harper from Suspiria, and Brad is played by Cliff DeYoung, who is one of my favorite character actors. So he had a plus going in for me. So there was kind of a plus going in for me on this one. As much as I like Susan Sarandon and Barry Bostwick, I actually do like the grown-up versions of Brad and Janet just a wee bit more. Although we don't get to see Brad do as much here in this movie as we do. This is more of Janet's film. And hey, reality, it's halftime. Oh yeah, Patricia Quinn is in this, and the one that I had the biggest crush on at the time, Nell Campbell, Little Nell, she's also in it as well. Perfect timing. See, I'm like halftime. I'm the halftime show. I like that actually. And also Rick Mayhall, who a lot of people know, I guess, from the young ones. And if you're like into like really really cult films, there's a movie called Drop Dead Fred that he actually starred in. Rick Mayhall's passed away now, actually, unfortunately. But he's, you know, he actually has a role in this film here as well. And of course, Barry Humphries will go on to do with Dame Edna, as a very important role in this film as well. Yeah, she is gorgeous in this film. And if you liked her in Rocky Horror, her part is smaller, but it's just as integral. And she is, of course, her singing is awesome. And the one good thing that I do like about this one, and this is going to seem like sacrilege to some people, hey, good day, film schlock, is that Jessica Harper, I'm sorry, she's a better singer than Susan Sarandon. Susan Sarandon is a great singer for Rocky Horror, but Jessica Harper has more vocal range. I watched a review recently, actually, from a channel that I actually really like called Council of Geeks, right? So, and he did a review of this movie, and I'm like, I got this movie for Christmas. I got to rewatch it again. And I think his thing was that he found her voice was kind of deeper and more, yeah, exactly, Phoebe Cates, and more and kind of like more huskier. It's a more embodied voice, right? It's a more throatier voice, right? Yeah, I forgot. Yeah, Ruby Wax is in this as well. And the thing is that her character Janet, like Brad and Janet are married now, and they're going through stuff. It's a more grown-up version of Janet. So I do see why you picked Jessica Harper. Like, obviously Susan Sarandon didn't come back. They had to pick someone that had a good vocal range. Plus, Susan Sarandon was very, like, almost kind of shrillish, and that's not a complaint. It's actually because she can do that really like kind of soft voice thing, which is great for the like doe-eyed, wondered Janet character that's in Rocky Horror Picture Show. I don't think, however, that is a great choice for vocal arrangement for the more kind of like hardened Janet that's gone through a lot of like changes and a little bit of darkness with this here. You believe that that she's fed up with Brad, that she just wants to change, that they're going through that slump period, and it's the change in the vocals of going from that soft, like kind of doe-eyed like damsel in distress in Rocky Horror Picture Show to the more kind of a slightly still kind of a more of a kick-ass kind of like me type character that you get in here. She plays it perfectly, and Cliff Young plays a dual role in this film. So he's not only playing Brad, he's actually playing someone else. That's actually not much of a spoiler. It's actually shown very early on in the film. So it's actually kind of neat the way that's done. Shock Treatment is a great song. Other songs that like really do well in this is Dual Duet, which is one of the last songs. Little Black Dress is Where Richard O'Brien Shines. There's always got to be a song which where Richard O'Brien shines. There's kind of like a weird kind of creepy song called I'm not sure it's called Good Night, something like that. And what's really cool about this edition right here is not only do you have the film with a bunch of features, a lot of great features, including a new commentary here with Nell Campbell and Patricia Quinn. So that's actually really cool. I haven't listened to that yet. I do want to listen to that. But it has the soundtrack as well. So if you can get this edition, see this one here, it's still available. I mean, there's an Arrow sale going on. I'm not sure if this is an Arrow sale or not, but if it is, I definitely recommend it. Yeah, this has the soundtrack to Rocky Horror to Shock Treatment as well. So if you liked, Getting a Wisdom, really? Oh, I don't know if I've seen it. I gotta look for it though. You picked up in the latest sale, this one here, Murdersville? Good job. This is a really good one. Oh, I was going to say I'll whip it open. That sounds wrong, but But it's definitely a different film, and there's even a sequence at the end of the film, which, not to give too much away, but there's a character that gives a bunch of hats to a bunch of people, like these identical garish-looking hats, and it really hit home with the political climate of the day. Just gonna put that out there. You'll understand when you watch the movie. But this is just, John Cliff Young, Little Nell there. I think that's Little Nell, or is that the other girl? No, I think that's supposed to be Nell Campbell. It's been It was mild, but we're starting to get more snow now, and I'm not a fan of that. So back in the day when I used to snowboard, I was a super fan of snow. Not so much now, I'm getting older. This is the Blu-ray. Right here is the soundtrack. So I got the soundtrack here as well. This is the booklet. It also comes with a... watching from the real Canadian Superstore, really? Hey. It also comes with this little like banner, which is really cool. I'll show you guys. This is the Denton banner, which makes a lot more sense when you... It's good to be DTV. It's got to be DTV. Really, really cool. And just to add more into it, and something that I think would have worked in like equally, even almost better really, in a Rocky Horror set is cards. Oh man, around 5 degrees. I think that's what's like up in Ontario right now. Are you in London, Ontario? Because my cousin just went to Ontario, and that's where it was like 5 degrees up there. And so the cards, you can mix and match the bodies of the characters and stuff. See, neat, hey? So with the, you know, with the character of like, and it all becomes like this. It's on the back. It's got like a puzzle that you put together. So it's a great set. It's actually really cheap on the Arrow sale. Murdersville knows all about it. If Scolder was here, who did like about 60 things I think from the Arrow sale so far, then I tried to get my better half to say, you know, we should just take one more dip into that Arrow sale because I want to get some of those Japanese ones. But she's like, no, we've spent a lot and we may be going on a short trip, and I want to see my kids sometime in the next month, so gotta tighten the belt a bit. But anyway, Shock Treatment is a fantastic little film. If you have not seen it, strongly recommend it. It's a great little musical. Don't go in expecting to see the Rocky Horror Picture Show. She is sensible. She's smart. She grounds me. And she'll also be the person that'll will be like completely nonsensical at times and just like buy me something that like out of nowhere that I don't expect, because she spoils me, and that's the truth. You'll see, like I keep mentioning, but not saying what it is, but probably around the end of this month, early February, I'm going to be unboxing something that's just going to show you how much she spoils me. So there we go, Shock Treatment. If you guys have not seen this, I do recommend it. The Nation set edition of this is sold out. This was actually sold out before. They found some extra copies. I think there's some of the Cosmo ones left. Murdersville, no for sure. I think Murdersville you bought this edition, right, Murdersville, right? Because I know there's a standard edition, but this edition was there as well, with the cards and the soundtrack. So if you can get this edition, I definitely do recommend it. It's a great little film. I'm going to take a slight swerve off of, and I hope you guys don't mind for a second. I hope you're not going to be disappointed with, because that's the thing. I was really excited about it. Now, you may not like the films that I'm going to unbox, but hopefully my excitement will come through. Because for me, it is a big deal. Anyway, I'm opening my bubbly, and before I get into the box sets, because I got a bunch of box sets to show you guys, I do want to talk about something that excites me on a more personal level, and that is the recent, like this week. I'm a wrestling fan from back in the day. I used to watch like a lot of. Okay, as long as you're excited, I'm glad. And so they announced recently a new wrestling company is coming. And not just any kind of new wrestling company, a wrestling company with a lot of with some big, some really good names in the mix. And don't lose me here. If you're not a wrestling fan, you're a movie fan. The movie stuff is coming. I just wanted to talk about this for a minute, and I would like to know if anybody here does watch, or did watch wrestling back in the day. Were you ever a fan of that stuff? Never watched Rocky Horror? Oh, I'm glad you enjoyed that. Definitely watch Rocky Horror. It's a really good film. And for a lot of people, it was, it's a great film. Rest in peace, Mean Gene Okerlund. Yeah, he was one of a kind. Apparently, he was a ladies' man too. I didn't know that till recently, but he was like a super ladies' man. He literally got the girls, right? He was the guy that got the girls. So, if you know wrestling at all, then you know this story. Basically, there was a big wrestler that was, he was in a big company. He was doing really well. Kind of wanted to bring himself farther. Kept asking for chances and bringing up story ideas and all that type of stuff. But then he got let go from the company. Really, he had to, and, basically let go, and yeah, and ended up going on to the indie scene, and then going to becoming a big wrestler. That guy, when you think of that, you think of Stone Cold Steve Austin, because that's the story. That Stone Cold Steve Austin was a big deal in WCW. He was doing all kinds of stuff for them. They kind of pulled back on his character. He kept giving him ideas and stuff. And at the end of the day, they pushed him out of it. They said, they fired him. And they said, you're never going to be that big deal. You're never going to be that big guy here. You went to ECW, worked out his character, got super angry and frustrated, went to WWE, became a huge star, became the biggest thing in wrestling ever. Now, remember that story, because a couple years ago, Cody Rhodes, who was known to be an extremely talented worker, was on WWE. He did everything that they wanted him to do. He wanted to, they gave him this character, Stardust, which was kind of like the Goldust character that his older brother played. And he gave them ideas, like he wanted to play, okay, I'll play Stardust for you if you want me to do Stardust. Can I go on SmackDown and be myself, have my own character, do that type of thing, right? So they said no. They told him he was never going to be the big guy there. They weren't really receptive to his ideas, so he walked away. Sound familiar? It should, because I just told you that story with Stone Cold Steve Austin. Okay, so, and then people are like, oh, he should have stayed there, should have done whatever he needed to be done. Because Cody, he's not the type of guy that's going to make it on the indie scene. That's pretty competitive. There's the Kenny Omegas and guys out there that do that stuff. Those are the guys that go far on the indie scene. And you don't. Oh, really? Oh, man. I've never been to an event that big. I've been to like some smaller events, but never been to one that big. So I'm very jealous. But he did. He became the biggest thing on the indie circuit. Right up there. Him and Kenny Omega are the two biggest things in wrestling outside the WWE. If you don't know who they are, definitely look them up, because they're actually very big. The biggest tag team wrestling team at the time, of course, was the Young Bucks. They spent a little bit of time in TNA. They never really worked in WWE. They didn't do. But either one basically, they should have. They should have went with them, and they didn't. And now those guys are making a new wrestling company called All Elite Wrestling. So we'll see where that goes from there. I just wanted to mention it, quickly mention it. And there's going to be a big announcement soon. They got a show coming up, and it looks like they might actually have TV deals. Oh, did you really have the Hulk Hogan thumb? I had like a bunch of like action figures and stuff when I was a kid. But my oldest child, she was like of wrestling, of the age when like wrestling we became big in. When the Attitude Era happened, right? So. She had like a lot of wrestling figures, like WCW figures. So I was really big. I watched both, but I was super big into like WCW stuff. NWO was just cooler than the WWE. It just really was. It was like Duke the Dumpster Droese, The Outsiders. It was a no-brainer. Plus, he had a great opening card with the cruiserweights and stuff like that. And the Rey Mysterios, the Eddie Guerreros of the world, the Juventutes. Yeah, those guys. Anyway, for guys that don't like wrestling there, I've mentioned the wrestling part. If you do and you want to talk about it, you want to say something, feel free to do so. The last time I did a video where I mentioned wrestling at all in it, where basically I bought a bunch of like I was at a flea market, the last flea market of 2018. I went there, I got like a bunch of these like big 3-disc wrestling sets. I was super excited about it. It became one of my lowest viewed videos of all time. So people can be fickle. There, go with that. But no, I enjoyed it. Junkyard Dog, man. What's his song? He used to have that song, like do the something. He had this like Biscuits and Gravy. Was it? No, that other guy. A little later was Biscuits and Gravy. But he had a song. Where he did this like kind of dance type of thing. And if you want to see something hilarious, go look for videos of the. Not right now. Watch my video right now. Interact with me. But there's videos like that the WWE did back when they were WWF, back in the day, like Paul Driver videos and if you only knew. You remember 60s UK wrestling? UK had great stuff. They've always had like more of like a serious like aspect to the wrestling, or to the recipe. Yeah, recipeing to the wrestling. What I'm going to get into in a second right now, because I know you guys are more into the movie stuff, is I do have some box sets that I wanted to show. And they run the gamut of all different like types, and that's what I wanted to do. Well, that's one of the big things I wanted to do tonight. Grab them cakes, thank you. That's what it is. It's grab them cakes. My God, I haven't heard that in ages. But yeah, if you guys are too young, or you never saw it, we weren't cool enough to be into the wrestling stuff like I was when I was young. Yeah, it was big, and I'm lucky enough to live through both of the golden ages. Of like there was the golden age, which I consider the rock and wrestling era, and at the same time WCW was doing a lot of stuff with, especially with Ricky Dragon Steamboat and Ric Flair, Chi-Town Rumble, stuff like that. And meanwhile, the WWF were doing their own type of thing. And then came the Attitude Era when WCW and WWF were butting heads again. And now WCW is no longer anymore, and I am crossing my fingers and hoping that we can get another Renaissance era, another big era of wrestling, and that maybe All Elite maybe can come there and be the new WCW. That's kind of what we want. We thought TNA was going to do that. It didn't work out that way. But yeah. Princess Bride, Andre the Giant. He was great in that. And he was indubitably. But yeah, I have to say, I'm ready to go to the box sets. So, if you weren't a wrestling fan and you stayed for that portion of the video, thank you so much. You get extra cool points for me because, yes, because we're more than the sum of our parts. We're all of it together. So I wanted to just like look at some different sets, and these like really have, inconceivably, thank you. That's what I'm looking for. Don't you just love Wallace Shawn? Isn't he an awesome person? And he kind of like did like his type of thing when they did My Dinner with Andre. I did My Dinner with Andre the Giant because he did that, right? You remember that? So yeah, so I got some really different ones to look at, some different box sets. I'm going to go through a lot of different like genres and that. But these are ones that are some great sets that just don't fit in a lot of the other categories that when I talk about, whether it's like they may kind of fit in horror, they may kind of fit in like film noir, but they haven't really been like, I don't think they've been spotlighted much on my channel. So I just wanted to finish the Air video sale. Oh yeah, I'm actually streaming it. I did kind of say I was going to try to get one done for Saturday. I just finished. I'm not sure you picked up this one, Tummy Films, yet or not. Shock Treatment. It's a great edition of the film. I strongly recommend it. This, if you can get this edition, this is the Cosmo edition. It's got the beautiful Jessica Harper on the cover. Am I getting, not this time. I got like some coming from Nemesis Films. I could only get like Nemesis Films. Wouldn't that be an awesome name for a company? So there, guys, if I ever start a production of, a distribution company, like Nemesis Films, I got to trademark that. That's good. Yeah, but I got 6 coming from 101 Films. Nemesis was actually the 7th on my list of films to get. And I really want it because I know that there's an edition coming out. I think it's MVD that's putting out Nemesis here in North America. But they're only doing the trilogy. They're doing the first 3 films. And if you look at the 101 Films Blu-ray of it, they do all 4. Like there's a 5th film, which is a bit of a stretch. But the main 4, they're doing all 4 of them on that one. Yeah, Nemesis Films. Yeah, see, Nemesis Films. See, that's an awesome idea. Nobody steal it. Trademark, copyright. I'm not sure you do that, but right. Stamping that trademark right now. That is so me. But yeah, so the Nemesis films are they're a cool film set. Like the first one is the one that stars Olivier Gruner. I know he's a French kind of kickboxing star. He starred in Angel Town. The Nemesis was right after it. And he went on to do like a few more films. It never became like the big deal that a lot of them became. And the reason is probably because he's not that good of an actor. But he really suits Nemesis because the type of role that it is. It is a great little set there. There's like 4 Blu-rays, I think. I don't think they're all put on one Blu-ray. I think there's like 4 separate Blu-rays, which is actually kind of cool if that's the case. It's one that if I don't get it this time, I'm definitely going to be grabbing it the next time around. This is my first venture into 101 Films. Like I've bought films for other people before, like bought sets for other people before from 101, but this is my first me getting 101 Films, and I think I got people like DVDs from them before. This is my Blu-ray one. That's Disney we're watching. See you later. Damn it, Disney. But yeah. So definitely one I recommend. But it's not in my list this time around. It will be in my next one though. Yeah, it is, and that's the thing. It's got the 4 films, and that was the big thing with me. I looked, and if you can correct me if I'm wrong on this, but
when I looked at the MVD Rewind, I think it's MVD Rewind that put it out. It's putting it out, or maybe it's another company. Maybe I'm getting it mixed up. But maybe it's Vestron. But I thought it was MVD Rewind that's putting it out. But I think they're putting out just like three, like a Nemesis trilogy. But there's more than three Nemesis films. They got like four of them there. It turns into like there's a girl character, like a bodybuilder type like character that's in like some of the other Nemesis films. And the fourth Nemesis film, it gets more like it's raunchier. If I remember, like it's been a long time since I've seen some of the Nemesis films, but I think there's you get a bit more nudity, I think, or kind of like sexiness in the fourth one, like because in the first, in two and three, I think it's like this kind of big bodybuilder like girl character, but in the fourth one, she's like again she's like still the blonde character with the blonde hair and that, but I think it's more of like a sexploitation-y type girl. Again, still action and all that type of stuff. But the fourth Nemesis seems like it's like taken a bit from Species in a way. If you watch the trailers, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And if you've seen the films, you even know more what I'm talking about. But yeah, it was definitely a temptation for me. This one that I really do want. I'm also kind of bummed that right now HMV may be going under, and I don't have an HMV premium yet from the UK. I want one of those really, really bad. If anybody from the UK that likes my channel and wants to send me an HMV premium one of these days, feel free to do so. I don't want HMV to go out and under without getting something like that. I thought I was going to get to London before that happened. It's not looking good for me getting to London before HMV closes down, damn it. And I hope that they don't close down. I hope it keeps going. But yes, Nemesis, do recommend it. Cool looking set. There's a few I recommend from the 101 film sale. I'm glad that they extended the sale. If you never got a chance to get it, I gotta mention, yesterday I talked on here about the Warner Archive sale. If you're on my Twitter or anything like that, you know my frustration right now, because I thought, okay, maybe I'll talk to him, maybe we'll just get a little bit from the Warner Archive, just a taste. And come to find out that, and I think it was someone on here mentioned it too. Like I thought Warner didn't go to Canada. I said, well, it's in 2019. Of course, they ship to Canada now. They wouldn't be that short-sighted. Apparently they are. The only thing I can think for a reason that Warner doesn't ship to Canada is maybe there's different distribution rates here. Like if not, then it's the stupidest move that I can possibly imagine, is that Warner Archives only ships within the country. In 2019, in a world where globalization is a huge thing and a lot of people are buying stuff online, you're shooting yourself in the foot by limiting the scope and amount of people that you can that you can reach. You want a perfect example of that? HMV used to have international shipping. When it came back, it lost the international shipping, and right now HMV looks like it might go in receivership, and they're looking for somebody else to buy it. They should have kept the international shipping going. They should have widened their scope. We here in Canada and in the United States, we had lost HMV. that was something that was missing. It's like Sunrise Records came up trying to kind of feed that need for the collectors. But a lot of people had a lot of goodwill towards HMV built up that the UK could have easily profited on. But they didn't think ahead. That was short-sighted. If somebody does end up buying HMV and it stays around, my fingers are crossed. I really hope it does. I hope that's that they open up the doors to international shipping as well. Yeah, I know. But the thing is, if you actually go on and you start looking at the movies, just seriously go look through. They're all you does not ship to Canada. Does not ship to Canada. Does not ship to Canada. So I'm not sure what we can buy. Maybe T-shirts. But you know what we can't buy? Warner Archive Blu-rays. That's what we can't buy on the Warner Archive site, which is really mind-blowingly yeah, it's frustrating, isn't it? If it's a distribution deal, and I understand that, and then their hands are tied for now, Warner, if anybody from Warner looks at that, you definitely look at that. You got JB Hi-Fi. JB Hi-Fi is very much like HMV. I've never been to Australia. I've only seen JB Hi-Fi on on those videos where I've seen people doing like Boxing Day videos and stuff like that, where they actually go into JB Hi-Fi. There's a guy on here, really, really, really good, Australian YouTuber actually, and he does these out and about videos in JB. And I want to see more people like Australians doing out and out videos in JB Hi-Fi because that's I want to see good out and about videos. I really do, guys. So if you guys are got channels there, do some, right? Do some stuff. Yeah, that's the thing. It does sales for Amazon US and Amazon CA. A lot of the stuff that that I find there is not actually Amazon CA, but it's called Import CDs, which is a company in Ontario that actually does some really good pricing. Now that being said, in order for me to get good pricing, I've got to buy Warner Archive DVDs as opposed to Blu-rays. That's the thing. Because the Blu-rays aren't like on a sale like that, I would definitely avail of it. But when it comes to that type of thing, I'm definitely frustrated. So to get away from that frustration, I decided to give you guys like a bunch of like box sets, lists of like some really good stuff that I think you guys should definitely look into. I've went through like different companies, different styles, different type of things. And hopefully we'll keep on talking about different subjects along the way. If I do recommend the Nemesis set, if you're looking to get the one-on-one films. Yeah, I would definitely go. I could go too far with it. Well, here's the thing. Oldies. Oldies is in the U.S., right? So Oldies is a company, and if you don't know what Oldies are, Oldies actually. Hold on. This is a company called Alpha Video, right? And they put out like not the best release. Like they're okay. They're definitely watchable, but the covers are always really awesome. So this is a really cool looking cover, right? But it's going to be it's a cheaper like DVD. But some of these are actually kind of harder to find someplace. So oldies.com, actually, that's Alpha. So they're the guys that do Alpha DVD. There's Alpha right there. That's their logo. See? Let's see. Very US looking logo right there. But they actually sell here to Canada as well. And they have sales all the time. And they have all the stuff there. But they had a big sale on Warner Archives. So in order for us to get like a nice quantity of Warner Archives, because my better half is a huge fan of like the cheesy stuff. You know, Green Slime, Black Scorpion, all that type of stuff. Though that's really up her alley. She said, I can get like 3 or 4 Blu-rays, or I can get like 9, or I can get 8 or 9 DVDs. So we ended up getting 8 or 9 like Warner Archives DVDs. We got them coming. Still waiting for them to show up from Oldies, but I think we just took regular shipping at the time. With the Arrow stuff, if you're getting that from the Arrow sale, by the way, the extra couple pounds that you pay for the tracked shipping is worth it. It's really fast. Just to let you know. I keep saying I'm going to go to these. Yeah, damn straight. And it's got a great song. Green Slime is a great song, too. If you're a fan of Green Slime and you've never seen his video, there is a fellow Canadian on here by the name of Brandon Tenold. And if you have not discovered his channel yet, I recommend that you do, because if you like the type of movies that I like, Brandon Tenold is a fantastic YouTuber. Hopefully, I'm hoping one of these times I'll go to a convention or something like that and I'll run into Brandon. And so if I do, I hope my thing's with me, because I'm definitely filming something for this channel if I ever do. I got to run into more of the Canadian YouTubers that are around here. Like, I live in Nova Scotia right now, and if you're familiar with like, a lot of different like kind of people that do cheesy movies and reviews and stuff on YouTube, then you're probably familiar with like with Phelan Phalis, right? So Phelan Phalis is actually from Nova Scotia. Like he did these early videos, I think were done in Halifax area. So that's actually kind of cool. So I'm originally from Newfoundland, and I moved out to Halifax, and eventually moving internationally, and I want to take my channel with me. So hopefully, that'll go that way. So first box that I want to show you guys. I've been going around to it for the last 33 minutes. For the people that stayed and stuck with it, smart people. For the people that said, I can't take this anymore, come back. You're gonna miss out. And the first one is actually a Raro video box set. Huge fan of a lot of stuff that they do, and this was the first one I got. This actually was bought at HMV back in the day, and this is the Fernando del Leo collection, Crime Collection Volume 1. Now, if you're a fan of Fernando del Leo, then you already know this stuff. You're going to know this here. If you're a fan of Quentin Tarantino and you watch Fernando del Leo, oh no, distracting is good. We're talking. That's the thing. That's what I want. This here should be a bunch of people talking about different things. That's
That should be the genius of this, is that it should be interactive. The day that it's just me like rambling off, then that could be a pre-taped video. But asking questions, interacting, talking back and forth, that's exactly what a movie club is supposed to be. So you're rocking it, Wolf. But there we go. This is the Fernando de Leo. This is the first set they put out. That has, of course, Caliber 9, which actually was put out on Blu-ray by Arrow. Calibro 9. It also has on here the Milano Calibro 9. The Italian connection is here. The Boss and Rulers of the City. Now, Rulers of the City has Jack Palance. Love Jack Palance. And like two of the movies here with the Italian connection and the Boss have have Henry Silva. The Italian connection has Woody Strode, and I'm a really big Woody Strode fan. So all these films are actually really, really good. I'll actually just whip a couple of them out here. There was actually, came with a booklet, so you actually got a cool little book, like mini book with it there. Got a little booklet talking about the films, talking about Fernando de Leo. Hey, Annie, how's it going? You just came in right in time. We're actually starting talking about about some unheralded box sets. And I love the covers on these here. Like, just look at this. Look at the artwork on these covers. Does not look awesome. Does it not look like an awesome cover? It's not like when you'd be like, yes, I want to own this movie. Because for me, that's an automatic. Oh yeah, I definitely want to watch this film. This one got a little bit. Aha! I'm glad I took this one out because it actually is kind of popped out. Give me a second here. Did you break on me? Yeah, I got to replace that case. Note to self. But yeah, just to show you the covers they got here, they are awesome. Amazingly well done stuff. Look at Jack Palance there. Look at him. He's awesome. You did Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, right? So I totally see Jack, and I remember watching it on TV when I was a kid. I totally see Jack Palance as Mr. Hyde, but like the kind of like the meeker Dr. Jekyll doesn't seem like the role for Jack Palance. Like, just put that there. And I'm going through I'm going to go through different genres and actors and all that stuff. And this is one that I bought during the HMV sale, still closed up. Oh yeah, has Miss Paluzzi on again? Yeah. That's a great set. There's actually a second volume which I don't have yet, which I do have to get. When the second volume came out, it came out at HMV as well, but only the Blu-ray edition came, and at the time I was collecting more DVD than I was Blu-ray, so I haven't got it yet. He was actually. I really like the movie. Jack Palance pick on a t-shirt. Yeah, they should. Yes. I would like to have a Jack Palance t-shirt actually. So this is a very different actor, but a really cool set nonetheless. And this is the Jack Lemmon set. Remember, that's the HMV thing, the 2 for $25 at the time. I actually bought it for $1. It was the last day of the HMV sale. And this actually has some good movies on here. Ones that I will rebuy because some of them are in the Arrow. One of them especially has got a big set in the Arrow, and that's The Apartment. The Apartment has a great Arrow set out there. But if you just wanted to watch The Apartment and wanted to see what it is before you picked it up, it's a fantastic Jack Lemmon film. Is on here. The Apartment, Avanti is on here. How to Murder Your Wife, and of course Some Like It Hot. So movies that have gone on to have better editions, but that's the Jack Lemmon set put up by MGM. So I guess in a way that's part of my MGM collection that I missed out on when I showed my MGM stuff. And I'm definitely going to be diving all over the place here, and I like that fact. Wilson was fast, awful fast, but he moves so slowly. That is so cool. Some lines are just, Now this one means something special to me because it's I was raised by my grandparents, and my nan and my pop would watch these movies when they would come on. They used to come on on Sundays on CBC. They show a lot of these, and there's a whole series of them, 10 actually in total. But my pops passed away a few years back, and very great man, carpenter. If I can leave half the impact that he left, I'll be a grateful person. But we used to watch these movies together. Sorry to get serious for a second, guys. and that is the Ma and Pa Kettle collection. So I actually kind of grew up with these films, and when I first watched them, I was like completely like totally snobby about it. I don't watch Ma and Pa Kettle. They're like, you know, oh, they're old and they're like kind of like very country folk. And we lived at the time in like in a smaller place, in a fishing area, fishing community, and I was very much the teen that was very self-conscious of where I came from. You know, it wasn't at that point where you're woke enough to be proud of your roots, right? As a kid, you want to get into the big city, that type of stuff. But yeah, I remember like we laughed, we loved these films. That started with the Egg and I, where they were like kind of like secondary characters in it, and but their characters were so important and so they're like so fun in the films that they went on. They made 9 other films with we know Mom and Pa Kettle films. This is the complete collection right here. It's actually looks kind of thin, but it's actually pretty heavy set, pretty like husky set. No features, but it goes everything from the Egg and I right up to the Kettles on Old McDonald's Farm. You and your dad used to watch Mom and Pa Kettle? Yeah, they're fun. They're really fun films. And I did buy like a set for my mom once of Mom and Pa Kettle stuff. You ever seen them? They're really fun. They're definitely older school stuff, but they're really kind of fun, cheesy stuff. And speaking of like kind of fun, like comedy, kind of corny stuff that I liked, and that is the Bob Hope collection here. Thanks for the memories. These like specifically, like because we got like aside from Thanks for the Memories on here, like there's some really great ones. The Cat and the Canary, the comedy version of the Cat and the Canary is on here with Bob Hope and Paulette Goddard. We've got the Ghost Breakers on here, again with Goddard as well. But Goddard's been in a lot of movies with him. Nothing But the Truth, again with her. Road to Morocco. I kid you not, one of his road movies. Road to Morocco's on here. Well, of course, that, you know, Hope and Crosby. And this one has Dorothy Lamour in this one. And the Paleface, which is actually really, really good, like comedy western. If you haven't seen it, I do recommend it. And Bob Hope definitely shines in all these. So Bob Hope collection, there's a few different Bob Hope collections out there. That's the ones that I got because movies were like kind of resonated with me. So as you can see, this is all over the place. So this is not like one genre. You can see everything from horror, like serious stuff, to kind of like sci-fi. And next up, yeah, let's get into these. So I'm a huge fan of, like, I don't talk about a lot, but I like pre-code cinema. There's a great documentary on pre-code cinema called Thou Shalt Not Sin. I think that's the name of it, right? Or do I have it here? I got it here. I know I got it here. Thou Shalt Not Sex, Sin, and Censorship in Pre-Code Hollywood. Really? Yeah, Paleface is really good. The Paleface is actually a really fun one. Now, there's a son of Paleface. I'm not sure if that's Bob Hope or not. I think someone else. It's been a while. I know Paleface is Bob Hope, but because I got it. But a son of Paleface, I know there's a son of Paleface. So there's some different like kind of pre-code sets that are right there. So I guess the most like notable pre-code sets that everybody knows are these ones right here, the Forbidden Hollywood set. So I do have like some of these, and this has some of one of my favorite movies of all time on here. Actually, when I do up lists of my top favorite films, one of them is called Three on a Match. Three on a Match was a movie I saw when I was really young. I saw it on CBC Late Night, where I saw a lot of my early old cinema at, and every time it would come on, I would watch it over and over again. Yeah, exactly. Making nostalgic? I'm glad I'm making nostalgia. Nostalgia's good, right? But Three on a Match was one of those that I would watch. And it was like an early movie that I didn't know at the time, but Humphrey Bogart, this is one of his first, where he's kind of playing a bad guy role. Really, really good film. If you have not seen this, this here, specific volume 2 of Forbidden Hollywood, actually has the documentary I'm talking about. I'm probably going to watch it right after this video, actually, because I love documentaries. And if I get a good documentary, I can watch it over and over and over again. When Shudder put out the King Cohen documentary on Larry Cohen, I watched that around 4 or 5 times now. But this one here has the divorcee on here with Norma Shear. I never get her name right. Norma Shear, we'll go with that. She was one of the kind of like the pre-code stars. Definitely saw her in a lot of that stuff. Betty Davis is in Three on a Match, of course. And of course, there's the female and Night Nurse. Night Nurse has Barbara Stanwyck. I know you're typing it, but I don't know how to pronounce it. Right. I'll be the first person to say I mix up pronunciations a lot. So
I always, and so always feel free if you see me pronounce something wrong, you can, enunciate it or write it in like, no, you got that wrong. I appreciate that because maybe next time I'll get it right. Because I'll be the first person to admit I get it wrong a lot. But yeah, this is volume 2. This is if you don't have any volume or you've never looked into pre-code cinema, sure. Thank you. See, I learn something every day. Thank you, Wolf. Uh, so this is a volume to start with. If you've never bought anything pre-code before, this right here, buy this volume first, even before volume 1. I'm serious. This volume right here has a documentary on pre-code cinema. You're going to watch this documentary and you're going to want to buy a lot. It's really that good of a documentary. It's like when you buy the film noir documentary, and then you're like suddenly realize I need film noir in my life. I need a lot of it, and I need a lot of it now. Yeah, this is the one, and I said it back in the day. It's been a while since I've talked about it, but me and my better have watched the documentary. I think it was on Turner Classic Movies actually. We had it like PVR because it was before the set, and we watched it and we looked at that. That was an awesome documentary. And my better half looked at me and she's like, okay, that was a fantastic documentary. Give me a piece of paper and a pen. And I was like, okay. I said, so what? She said, now turn on the documentary again. You really like the films? Oh yeah, actually, I'll mention I'll mention them again there. The friend Leo said is definitely awesome. She said, turn on the documentary again. We're going to rewatch it. I'm taking some notes. There's some movies I really want. No word of lie, that's exactly how it went down. And we ended up watching that documentary 2 more times that day with her taking notes on movies that she wanted. We found out about Forbidden Hollywood. We grabbed this right away. We realized that that this set had the documentary. And shortly after that, we actually picked up Volume 3, which is pretty much like a William Wellman collection. If you don't know who William Wellman is, you're going to know it here because there's 2 documentaries. They can be pricey, but just keep an eye on for when they do go down because I do tend to see some of these, especially volumes 2 and 3 for some reason. I do tend to see like the first 2 or 3 volumes like go down and they get pricier as it goes up because as it goes into more of an MOD category, like kind of like movies on demand type of thing, which is the way the Forbidden Hollywood sets would go later on, they tend to get a little bit pricier. Now, that being said, I haven't looked on like I'll just we're really quickly while I'm here. I'm gonna like hit on Forbidden Hollywood just to see, if they've gone up, because I really don't keep track. I'm not a person who keeps track of like I wonder if my movie's worth money, because it doesn't matter as long as I enjoy it. Yeah, wow. So yeah. So some of them have gone a little bit pricey, but Volume 2 right now on Amazon CA, and it's again by Import CDs. So if you're in Canada, Import CDs is Canadian, and they have a store on Amazon CA, is actually $31. So I don't think that's too bad for one that has a documentary and like 4 or 5 films on it. Now this one here, again, William Wellman, fantastic director. These are films done by him. This is kind of both a Forbidden Hollywood pre-code set and a William Wellman set too. And what's really cool about it is it has like 2 documentaries on William Wellman. It's got Wild Bill, Hollywood Maverick, and the men who made the movies William A. Wellman. So again, there's it's a 3-disc set. It's got Other Man's Women with Barbara Stanwyck, Purchase Price. Ruth Chatterton is in like Frisco Jenny. Ruth Chatterton's in like a nice few of them. Loretta Young is in Midnight Mary, Heroes for Sale, and of course Wild Boys of the Road. Just some great stuff, and it's got 2 William Wellman documentaries, so you're getting a pre-code set and a William Wellman set at the same time. Awesomeness. So this is Volume 3. So I do recommend if you're going to start it with some pre-code stuff, Volumes 2 and 3 are actually really good places to start. You can go on anywhere and like grab a lot of them, but I'd say if you can find yourself Volume 2 at a good price, there's your starting place for a pre-code cinema. Go from there, jump into it, and you're going to find out like a lot of good stuff. The one other pre-code one that I got is actually, and it is labeled pre-code, and it came out from Universal, and that is the Pre-Code Hollywood Collection. This I actually had this set, and I lost it, and I found it again at my local Giant Tiger actually for $9.99. It was on sale because it was originally like $20, and then it was like they did like a Boxing Day sale where all box sets were like $9.99, and so I grabbed up Pre-Code Hollywood Collection, which has The Cheat, Merrily We Go to Hell, Hot Saturday, Torch Singer, Murder
at the vanities and search for beauty. And there's actually a nice selection of like different films. There's like musical film. There's a musical film on here. And what's really neat about this set, and I always got to show this every time I take this set out, is it has this. And this is actually really cool. So this is the Universal Archive. It has a copy of the Hays Code. So, code to govern the making of talking, synchronized, and silent motion pictures, and the reason to support it. So, the actual Hays Code that definitely talked about a lot through pre-code cinema. Like when you're watching the Thou Shalt Not like documentary, they're going to mention this Hays Code a lot. This is a reproduction of the Hays Code here, and it's in its entirety. So, very cool to have in a set, and something I definitely do recommend. So, like I said, I'm going to be talking about a lot of different stuff here tonight. And going into like a lot of different like categories and stuff. So that's pre-code. If you've never done pre-code, there's a kind of a primer for pre-code movies for you. And if anybody here like is into pre-code and likes that stuff, please feel free to mention it, because I like to know that some of this is like liked by other people than aside from just me. And sticking with the older type of stuff, a set that's really cool, and it kind of does have like a kind of definitely a horror aspect to this one. And this was the Betty Davis collection. I'm a huge fan of Betty Davis, and there are some films on here that any self-respecting horror fan really should have. I'll be completely honest with you. There's like the Hammer film, The Nanny, which is actually this. Yeah, this is a film by Hammer Films. Definitely one of their later, one of their more like psychological horror ones. That's put in different sets, but one that everybody, I mean, like if you're a horror fan doll, if you like Southern Gothic, well, one, you should have that Scalpel edition from Arrow Films, and if that's on sale during the Arrow sale, I do recommend it. I got it for Christmas. I strongly recommend it. Great features on there as well. And this is Hush Hush Sweet Charlotte. I love this movie. I really, really do. Olivia de Havilland and Betty Davis. Pre-code. Start with Volume 2 of Forbidden Hollywood. Seriously, if you can get that one at a decent price, start with that one. And that's going to be your primer. Watch the documentary. It's going to give away some stuff though for some of the films. Spoilers. But yeah, it's really good. But if you like Southern Gothic, Hush Hush Sweet Charlotte, right up there with like for me with the Baby Jane. Definitely. Betty Davis, Olivia de Havilland is in this one here. Joseph Cotton is one of my favorite actors. Obviously, with my favorite film being Shadow of a Doubt from Hitchcock. So Joseph Cotton's in that as well. That's very good. But Hush Hush Sweet Charlotte, great film. There's other stuff on here like just like the regular period stuff like The Virgin Queen, Phone Call from a Stranger. Ooh, that's very no Irish looking. And of course the classic Albert Eve, which pretty much I think everybody has or seen or hope you've seen anyway. It's a classic in cinema. But yeah, Hush Hush Sweet Charlotte for me is like it's just the winner part of that set. Now I want to show a couple of different looking sets where they're kind of cool. Hey, De Katana. Yeah, we just talked about pre-code. We did a little bit talking about Fernando de Leo. And we even did some wrestling talk with All Elite Wrestling. And I lost some viewers while I was doing that. So, just saying. But these are kind of cool. These are what I call my. Yeah, if I gotta get I will upgrade Hush Hush Sweet Charlotte, and I do recommend definitely if that comes out to grab it. It's a good one, definitely a good one. So this is one part of my puffy collection, as I like to call it, and you'll see why in a second. So there are a few of these puffy sets put out. So this was kind of a short-lived thing. So if you guys know these, it's like there's a few sets put out, and they're really kind of soft and puffy. That's literally that's what I can tell. Kind of like a book, kind of looks like a book. But I call them my puffy sets. So this is the Pink Panther collection. And it has the Pink Panther. Somebody cut off head in that one. You don't like this? I think it looks cool, actually. Look at him. Look how cool he looks in all black. Like with the black gloss in the back. I really like this, actually. It's got Pink Panther, A Shot in the Dark, which actually is a really underrated Pink Panther film.
which doesn't have the diamond in it. The Pink Panther Strikes Again, Revenge of the Pink Panther, and Trail of the Pink Panther. So it's got 5 of them there. It opens up like, I'll show you. So it's kind of neat. So it opens up like this. Oh. One of them came loose. I bet you know which one it is too. It's a bonus disc. There is a bonus disc in here, but there's a whole big like picture behind it. Anyway, so I think the bonus disc has, what does the bonus disc have? It just says bonus disc, God. Sorry, I don't mean to swear. Damn it. But anyway, there's a bonus disc. I forget what it has. I think it has cartoons and like a documentary Peter Sellers or something. So there's a bonus disc. But that's not the first like puffy set I bought. That's not the thing that got me to buy the puffy sets. This is the Catherine Deneuve collection. As you can see, like, there's a sticker there that I found. I definitely need some like glue began type stuff for it. 5-film collection. I'm a huge fan of Catherine Deneuve. My better half is too. She grew up watching the Angelique films, which is kind of like a romantic adventure series of films and done in France. If you're familiar with them, like that worked by Shay. Look at this. Oh, she is gorgeous. This got Man in 70 on here. Le Savage, Hotel de Ameriques. I totally suck at like French here, and I'm trying to learn too. Le Chuck and Fort Sec. I'm just there, guys. There you go. 5 classic films with the beautiful Catherine Deneuve. This one actually kind of slips out as opposed to the other one. Oh, really? Nice. And the set is actually kind of cool. We should. We have no excuse, because when we would go to school, we learned French. Well, I didn't learn. For me, I started French in grade 4, right? But so I should not suck at it this bad, right? Kind of seriously. But actually, yeah, I should bring Superman over too. But my kids like started French like right from the beginning, like right from kindergarten. They start like French early on, which we all should, because we're a bilingual country. We should be a bilingual country. I always hate when people are like, "Well, I need to speak like, why don't you speak our thing like English?" Well, honestly, that's it's really not your language. It's more multifaceted than that. It irritates me, and that's why I don't go on news websites and read forums. That's why I never do that, because it always gets me frustrated. So, see, I'm trying to learn French. Now, I'm hoping that I can learn some French here. Now, in Morocco, everybody speaks French, so immersed in. I'm hoping to catch on a bit. We're going to spend a bit of time in Paris as well, because our sister lives there. So, hoping immersion is going to help. French cinema. I actually do watch a lot of French. I'm a huge fan. I mean, when I was a kid, especially, I used to watch a lot of like Canadian French programming. Because here's the thing: if anybody here's Canadian, they're going to know this. French like programming, French Canadian programming, especially, the rules were a little bit more lax. So as a young like hormonal teen, watching the French TV shows that would come on, like the Montreal version of CBC, with nudity, yeah, I was all about that. I definitely was. As a teenager, any way I could see the nude body, I would definitely do that. And thank you, French cinema. Thank you, French. Thank you, Canadian French TV as well. We got that film here actually. That's actually really good. Is that Colbert? Colbert, not Colbert, like Chabrol. I mean, sorry, Claude Chabrol. Is that Claude Chabrol? I think it is, right? It is Claude Chabrol. I got the movie here somewhere, if it's the one I'm thinking about. Or maybe it's a different film. Chabrol, thank you. He's the French Hitchcock. I watched one of his movies recently. Really, really good. I I gotta like dive into that set again. That's the did you have the Arrow Films like 8 film set, or did you like watch it on TV? Because there's like I think there's English subtitles in the film set that I got. So yeah, really really good director, and definitely underknown. So got the 2 box sets. So yeah, that's the thing. Definitely is I would think he's definitely a director people should know more about that people don't talk about. Yeah, that's it. He's a nudie film and suddenly understands French. If that was the case, I'd understand it like all those from all those tinsel brass. Shit, set 1 actually. I got the first set. I don't have the second set. I need to get the second one. The one I got as is that Le Biche? My French is horrible. I do apologize. But yeah, Le Biche. Well, whatever. Le Biche. It looks like when I first said, is this movie The Bitches? And I'm not swearing. That's just what I thought it was. Yeah, that's set 1. So it's got a really good kind of film on there, and I can't remember the name of it right now. But basically, this guy, Annihilation. Oh God, early on in the year, I liked it. I've seen a lot this year, but I don't really remember that well. The Butcher. Okay. It's so basically this guy finds out that his wife is like is cheating on him, like she's going into town to this other guy, and he kind of like stumbles upon it. He gets somebody to investigate it. Finds out that his wife's cheating on him. Starts to formulate a plan. That's all I'll tell you. It's just kind of one of those like cool like ones where basically he's gonna get revenge on his wife with the person that she's so it's cool. It's it is Hitchcockian, and I like the way it plays out. Some people are gonna be like frustrated with the ending, but I actually do like the way it ends. So there's another one, completely different. Like I said, Classic Sci-Fi Ultimate Collection Volume 2. Now these are some great things. Like I think some of these actually are on Warner Archives. So you want to save yourself some money. There's 5 here, and I'm pretty much sure almost all these, if not all of them, are on the Warner Archives, basically on their own. So there's Dr. Cyclops, Call of the Cobra, The Land Unknown, which I do know is on Warner Archives, The Deadly Mantis, and Leech Woman. Some great copies of the films, by the way. They definitely decent transfers. There's another set. This is a Volume 1, which I still have to get. Great stuff. You hated these films? Oh, I love this stuff. Is this public domain? No. This is actually put out by Universal. This is not one of those like Mill Creek sets or anything like that. This is a Universal set. You can actually find it for a decent price now, but for a while that's actually got kind of expensive. But here's like you can see like the different covers on, like posters on here as well. My better half speaks 3 languages, so I should really have no excuse. But yeah, no, this is one of the actual Universal sets, so this actually is a decent set with good quality. Here's one. Hey, Javid, how's it going? I loved I Was a Teenage Werewolf. Unfortunately, that's not available on to buy, like on Blu-ray or DVD. I Was a Teenage Werewolf and I Was a Teenage Frankenstein. I got to see those when I was younger. I saw them on on TV, and I've never really owned them. But I know there's rights issues with them. I would really like them to come out, actually. This is a very different set, but it's from one of my favorites. And this one here is completely Carlin. So this is the 6-disc Dave Carlin collection. I had to get it back. Like, Javid, I had the Nightmare on Elm Street set. I sold it when I was moving, and I was in Montreal one day, and I was at this store, and it had the Nightmare on Elm Street set there, so I bought it again. I bought it back, and so that now is like proudly back in my collection. That was one of the great like DVD sets of all time in my opinion. And definitely belongs in everybody's collection. If you get the chance to get it back, just grab it. I'm a huge George Carlin fan. I'm a huge fan of stand-up comedy, yeah. And like I actually thought about going into stand-up comedy at one time in my life, and Carlin was one of the guys that I used to really used to study. I can't imagine me going into stand-up comedy now. I'm like such a dad. Like yeah, he is, unfortunately, he's passed away. But this has some great stuff in there. It's got Playing With Your Head from the Beverly Theaters on here. What Am I Doing in New Jersey is on here.
Back in Town, George's Best Stuff, which is kind of like a different compilation set. One of my favorites is You're All Diseased that he did in New York, which is a great one. And there's an interview, George on George interview, I guess done back in the day. There's actually some bigger sets, Carlin sets out there. I do like the fact that each one of these are basically, in their own discs. It's they put it by MPI back in the day. You're All Diseased is a great stand-up, by the way, if you've never listened to it. I kind of both would love to have Carlin back right now. Did I like The Burning? I love The Burning. Burning's a fantastic film. Bill and Ted, yeah. Have you ever seen Slime City? I think I have. I don't remember very well, but I don't have it. That's one that I don't have. Just a lot of stuff on my list of movies to get. I've seen it back in the day, but if you ever quiz me on it, I would. Most excellent. Whenever I think Bill and Ted, I think of Freaked. Actually, James Rolfe just did. If you watch James Rolfe's videos, he actually is a really good like. He's got this series, like this rental review series, right? And I do recommend it. It's really good. Oh yes, I'm a huge Vegas fan. I watch Vegas, and because I'm a huge Robert Urich fan, I'm a huge Spencer fan. Spencer, I'm a huge Robert B. Parker fan. I read all the Robert B. Parker Spencer books. Spencer, much like me, has a code that he lives by. Well, maybe I was more influenced by Spencer than I thought. But yeah, I used to watch Vegas back in the day. I don't have the series yet. I do have to get it. And of course, Spencer is another series that I do have to pick up as well. Mostly was Robert Urich as Spencer, but later on, of course, Joe Mantegna did the role for a couple movies. So, next up, big set, very big set with some very, very good films on here, and this is the Oliver Stone collection. Again, this is another one that I looked into back in the day. It's a massive set and has some fantastic films. Now, some people aren't huge Oliver Stone fans. You haven't watched yet? It's fun. You'll enjoy it. Judy Landers actually. Remember when I did the Hellhole? When I mentioned Hellhole is one of the top 10 like underrated screen factories, which starred Judy Landers. I did watch Mind Your Business. Mind Your Language. Mind Your Business. Yeah, that'd be a good one. Actually, you know what I watched last night? After I got off here, I was going to go watch like a movie. I did watch a movie today. I watched the Shock Treatment. But last night I just wanted to watch some British stuff. And I turned on a couple episodes of like the series called, that doesn't have savages. The series called A Bargain Hunt, which I'm a huge fan of. And I can watch those episodes over and over again. So it's got Salvador, Platoon, Wall Street, Talk Radio, Born on the 4th of July, The Doors, JFK, Heaven and Earth, Natural Born Killers, Nixon, U-Turn, Any Given Sunday, Oliver Stone's America. That's a good price for that set. And a bonus disc, basically, on set of Alexander, Looking for Al in Persona Non Grata. Be politically incorrect? A lot of stuff would be. When did Mind Your Language come out? That was because a lot of those shows would definitely, some wouldn't fly now, right? I'm sure that some parts of like. You do? Me too. And actually had like what's kind of cool. They had like movie like money here for like going to see Alexander. I don't have the Tarantino set. That's one that I do have to get. But yeah, it's actually a pretty neatly put together set. This is the first volume of it. He's talking about Barry Evans? Yes, the Doctor series. I'm actually a fantastic... I'm actually a fan of like Eric Bogosian, so what I'm not a fan of trying to get these damn things back together. Oh, this one's got like a double, like one of those flipper discs. What is that? Natural Born Killers, I think. No, U-Turn. U-Turn is actually a really good like film by underrated film by Oliver Stone. Some others do have them. Well, I haven't heard that in a while. That's an older series.
One of my favorite, like probably my favorite, like British show. If you want like British comedy, I'm a huge Only Fools and Horses fan, guys. So if you're a fan of Only Fools and Horses and you've seen that, you just notched up on the coolometer for me because lovely jubbly. What was it going? That's John Pertwee. Ah, Delby, right on. I love the episode, and I think that it should have ended. Triggering. It should have ended on the episode where they become millionaires, where he actually becomes a millionaire. One of these days we'll be millionaires. They should not have gone beyond that. Actually, I don't know. There's a few movies that I could watch. I watched Shock Treatment earlier tonight. I really, really enjoy that movie. So it's going to be got to be something different there. But yeah, end it on a high point. They don't have to go back to being poor again. End it with them becoming millionaires. For me, everything past that, it's funny, but no. And then of course Rockin' Chips, which is the prequel series. That's actually pretty cool as well. Has one of the guys from I think was it from the Inbetweeners or from I think it's from one of the guys from Inbetweeners thing in it. I watch movies. Yes, you can send me movies. Young ones. Actually, I mentioned Rick Mayhall earlier when I was talking about Shock Treatment. He's actually in that movie, of course. And of course, later on, he did Drop Dead Fred, which some people hated, but it became kind of a cult classic later on. I'm actually, it's kind of fun. Pull Nelson Mandela's house. Why? Why would you do that? I do not know the context of what that's being done in. Yeah, I can. But I guess if there's reasoning behind it. No more Drop Dead Fred. Sadly, there can't be any more Drop Dead Fred Rich because unfortunately he's passed away. But it's one of those weird movies. But yeah. Oh, thanks, Tenrim. Welcome, by the way. The Vinegar Syndrome. I do like to do Vinegar Syndrome stuff. I'm actually. Have I sent in the email? Yeah, actually, yes, I did. I actually got some of the Peter Sellers stuff over there. I was going to bring that set over. I'll bring it over in a second. I got a Peter Sellers set with some of the Ealing comedies. I'm a big fan of that stuff. And the more serious stuff like that I like, and it's not really serious, but that I used to watch when I was a kid. This Earl Flynn set was the one that I bought in Montreal as well, and I think that was at HMV in Montreal. To be honest with you, but there's a movie. That would film. I'm nice. Rising Damp. I'm trying to remember. I don't know if I've seen Rising Damp. See this? This is Captain Blood. Young Aaron, preteen Aaron, used to pretend to be Captain Blood all day long. We had like sticks and we would do sword fights. And this movie would come on like CBC a lot. A lot of great features on here, by the way. What was really cool is just a fantastic documentary on Earl Flynn here called The Adventures of Earl Flynn. Prize Fall Reginald Perrin, yeah. Great documentary. Sets like these, unfortunately, we don't get to see so much anymore. Yeah, Basil Rathbone. Basil Rathbone was amazing, like a fencer. Back in the day, these signature sets were, you can find them all over the place. I'm a fan of Norman Wisdom. I actually don't. I'm trying to think, what films would I know Norman Wisdom for? So that's, am I a fan? I don't know. I might be, and I don't even realize it. Oh, okay. See many of his films, yes, but I didn't realize who it was. So I guess I am, but I just didn't realize I was. Because, yeah, he's made a lot of cool stuff. He did a lot of like TV work too, on like shows that I watch. But yeah, so yes, I am a fan of Norman Wisdom. I just didn't realize I was. A Bogart, Cagney, Reagan sets. There's a few different ones. I got a couple ones here. Let me grab a couple more sets because actually, those were all I took out at the time because I didn't know that I was going to be that these sets were going to go through this fast. So I would have grabbed more. So there's just a couple right there that I'll pick up, and a couple more signature ones as well. So let me just grab those. All right. A quick couple more to put into the collection, guys. Ones that I should not have put right behind me because now I can't sit back. So let's move these over there so I can actually move. All right. So first off, you asked about Ealing stuff. I got to get to the UK more. I'm hoping like what in the near future. That's one place I'm going to be able to visit a lot. So this is the set that came out, the Peter Sellers set that came out here. Yeah, I really do need to get a wireless mic. This is actually my second mic. I was actually making a video once, and my cat jumped and was like ripped the cord from the mic. Actually, my first mic that I got was actually the first time I ever got like I monetized some videos and I actually got enough to buy a mic. So that shows you like or a megaphone. I do. Costs money. I could eventually get that. And then I got to start Patreon and actually start doing this stuff right. But for right now, I don't do that stuff. So later cards is fantastic. Alec Guinness, man. So this is the Peter Sellers set. That's the thing, yeah. Yeah, you're right, Carlos. I do have that. Is like one of the pain things I do. So this has some cool ones on here. Some early like Peter Sellers like stuff. A lot of comedy, some serious, a couple more serious ones. So this is Carlton Brown of the FO. Really good films. I actually like these. The Smallest Show on Earth. Probably one of the most famous ones on the set is I'm All Right, Jack. These are like classic, like Peter Sellers. Like you guys there in the UK are gonna know I'm All Right, Jack. Yeah, you're probably gonna know like his more serious role, like in Hoffman. Again, a great performance by Peter Sellers. And who's in that one with him again? I really do like this movie. What's the girl's name in this one? Ruth Dunning, right? Yeah, it is. So, hey, it's Palooza night. Heavens above. Party's my favorite, actually, of his and of course there's a two-way stretch. So it's actually a pretty neat set. Not an easy one to find, I'll be honest with you. This is actually Anchor Bay. This is early Anchor Bay stuff. I'm not quite sure if Anchor Bay released Alec Guinness set as well, but this is like early on. Anchor Bay used to do a lot of different stuff back before they became the company that put out a million different versions of Evil Dead and Halloween. They actually did some different stuff, and this was their this is the Peter Sellers set. They also did an early Carry On set, which I would kill to have now actually. Smallest Show on Earth. Yeah, it is. There's another like signature set that I got. I got a John Wayne up there too, a big John Wayne set, which I'll leave for like when I do like my Western video. This is the this Tracy and Hepburn collection. Actually, it's a cool one. It's got like Pat and Mike on here, Adam's Rib, Woman of the Year. The three films. It's got a fourth disc, which is the Spencer Tracy Legacy, a tribute by Katharine Hepburn, a documentary on Spencer Tracy. Actually, really good. So actually, is a pretty cool set. Again, this was another giant tiger find, so always check out your giant tiger. Vinegar Syndrome is so unique and so different with the stuff that they do. Kino does a bit of everything, and I love Kino. Uh, I would like to see them. If well, I will, can you get Vinegar Syndrome and do they like ship internationally? Like I don't know if they do. That's a, but so great minds think alike. Like the Vinegar Syndrome stuff, like with Bloody New Year coming out as well. I definitely need to get that one. There's a few that I want to be looking at on Vinegar Syndrome, and obviously, when it came time to talk some Vinegar Syndrome stuff on a recent podcast, I actually was able to do that as well. So these here, I'm gonna say like out of like all the sets I got, these type here are like definitely. I just picked one at random. I like to see them like down. Like I would buy signature Blu-ray sets. So if they put them in, like if they would put them like the signature sets out again, like on a decent price on Blu-ray, I would double dip for that. I definitely would, rather than see them just come out like one randomly, like at an archive set or something like that. Like a lot of the stuff that I got in the film noir collection, or you can get them in Warner Archives now on like Blu-ray, like Out of the Past, Bird My Sweet, stuff like that, right? But I'd rather see them come out in sets again than like paying us. Okay, you bought them there, now you want to pay 4 times the amount, buy the sets over again. So yeah, so some of them I stick with the DVDs because I'm not unless they're going to put them in those sets. I want to see the sets. Emperor costume bit. Charlie Chan. This is a Warner Roland Charlie Chan. Of course, there are 5 volumes in this here. This is of the original Charlie Chan, like Fox films. And I think 2 are the first 2 volumes, or first 2 volumes are Warner Roland. I think 3, 4, and 5 are Sidney Tollier. These are incredible films. These are really, really good films. If you've never seen the Charlie Chan movies, I really recommend them. They're really good, and there's always great features on here that'll get you more interested in watching more of the Charlie Chan films. No, there is a Charlie Chan comedy film. They're called Charlie Chan and the Jade Dragon, which was done with Peter Ustinov. Warner Roland first. Warner Roland was the first guy. He's actually in the if you've ever seen like the original like werewolf movie, he's in that. He's like the werewolf, the bad kind of werewolf in that one. But like none of these people were actually that played the role were actually Asian. So there was Warner Roland first, and there's Sidney Tollier, and there's another guy too. I got one of them over there. But no, they're mystery type, and a lot of them are kind of almost like drawing room mystery type. They're very well done. Great little like mysteries. Charlie Chan figures it out. Have some great like kind of like co-stars and like actors in these. I know Boris Karloff's in one, like Raymond Milan is in one right here. Kay Luke, of course. Kay Luke is in a few of them as his #1 son. Rita Hayworth is in one of these films. Just some great stuff. Champion of the Wonder. He can sing his theme. So yeah, these sets, I didn't bring them all over. This is just one of the sets. I've got the Chanthology too, which came out in the UK, which has some of the later Sidney Tollier stuff. Roland somebody is the other guy. But along the same lines, MPI put out these here Sherlock Holmes collection sets. This is volume 2. I got volume 1 as well. And these, of course, are the Basil Rathbone, Nigel Bruce ones. Again, some cool stuff. Actually, auto commentaries. I've never looked at the auto commentaries on these. Great sets, though. This set here has House of Fear, in the Spider Woman, the Scarlet Claw, and Pearl of Death. But yeah, I gotta look at some more MPI stuff. I just like randomly picked up some of that stuff there. These are really awesome. We watched these one day in one setting. Mike Shane Mysteries with Lloyd Nolan. There's like 4 of them here. There's more than this though. There's also like I think Dress to Kill, like the old Dress to Kill is also another Mike Shane mystery. I got that one on its own. But there's supposed to be a second volume of this that they never did. Obviously, you see volume 1 right there. They got to have like special features on here talking about the art of like of those books back at the time, and like just some really cool stuff. If you've never seen the Mike Shea mysteries, I really recommend them. They're really cool. Promise you, you will enjoy them. Uh, you know, part of the Brett Halliday. He wrote the books, and yes, the Sherlock Holmes said, "How did you distract yourself from that?" It's pretty incredible. I got 2 volumes out there actually. Next up is the what blah 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 WC Field set. Again, huge WC Fields fan. Uh, as much as I love this one here, I got this one not just for WC Fields. Like this is like, you got You're Telling Me, The Old Fashioned Way, Man on the Flying Trapeze, which is actually really good. Poppy, and of course the classic Never Give a Sucker an Even Break. But what I really wanted on this was the exclusive vintage documentary. There's a documentary about W.C. Fields on here, and it's really, 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 really good. Now this is like I wish this was 17 films. This is like 5 films, but it has a documentary like talking about W.C. Fields, and that documentary is done by somebody very important to me, and that is Wayne and Schuster. So here in Canada, there was a comedy duo by the name of Johnny Wayne and Frank Schuster, Wayne and Schuster. And if the name Schuster sounds familiar, then you probably are a Superman fan. And yes, Frank Schuster from Wayne and Schuster, that was his cousin that created Superman. But they were a huge comedy duo. They're actually back in the day. They were like courted to go over to the U.S. many, many times. A lot of a lot of late night hosts loved getting Wayne and Schuster on there, but they love Canada. They love staying here. So they had like this deal with CBC where they would produce like these Wayne and Schuster specials over the years. And until I think I wasn't sure if it was Frank Schuster or Johnny Wayne. One of them passed away anyway, and that's when they stopped. But I was a huge fan of Wayne and Schuster. That was like growing up. I would watch like their shows. I would like time my studying stuff around the Wayne and Schuster documentaries that came out. Have a nice night, Carlos, and I hope you enjoyed it here. It's a really good one. Do you know about Wayne and Schuster? You're familiar with Wayne and Schuster? They they would put on these like amazing shows, and they would like go from like not just from like they go from like not just from films but like TV, from books. I remember like the Scarlet Pumpernickel episode that they did of Wayne and Schuster. You would get watching those, you would get a lot out of that, and you'd want to go out and like find the source material for a lot of this stuff. They were really smart, and they did like their end song. I see it by the clock on the wall. Uh, I can still remember it. I could definitely. That's one that I could sing. That they would do together, but it seems weird singing "I See It by the Clock on the Wall" their end sequence by themselves. They are fantastic. Like just look up some of their stuff on. I think there should be some of it on YouTube. I actually have a Wayne and Schuster set here somewhere with some of their episodes. I was really like stoked to find it because it was one of those shows. It epitomized my childhood, much like Seeing Things, which has never come out on any kind of like format, DVD, VHS, or anything. It was a CBC show about a psychic news reporter. But as a kid, I used to love that show, and I would definitely pay high for that one. But yeah, Wayne and Schuster, definitely check them out. They were fantastic. George Reed Superman. I do have the George Reed Superman series actually. That's one of my prides in my collection. I was able to finally get them all. I remember seeing them when they first came out. They were like really expensive, and I did pay like a bit of a price for a couple of the sets back in the day because those sets, TV sets were well, they're gone back to being a little bit more expensive now, but they were kind of expensive back in the day. You'd buy a set, and sometimes for a TV set, you'd be like, wow, there's like a lot of episodes. There's like a lot of content on here. So you get like $40, sometimes like $30, $40 for a set, or sometimes a little bit more. And now you can buy like complete series for like $30 and stuff. I remember searching out to get Airwolf, right, to get the first 3 seasons of Airwolf, and finally finding them and like getting them for a decent price. And then now you can buy all 4 seasons, including the one that was shot in Canada, which isn't very good. Is season 4 of Airwolf, actually included in the like from Mill Creek, I think, put it out. So I'll definitely buy that one down the road. I got the first three seasons, so I can't see myself just buying it right away because for the get the fourth season, which isn't very good and has like pretty much like recycled special effects. But yeah, I definitely gotta grab that. So there you go, guys. That's a few box sets. Tonight we've talked about we've talked about Shock Treatment. Uh, we've talked about Fernando Del Leo, Pre-Code Cinema, uh, a bunch of different like box sets and other things. When did I start collecting? I've always been collecting, but I know what you mean. You mean the films here that I have today. So I started recollecting, as in re-getting films for my collection about 8 or so years ago. I actually just I had collections before, like smaller collections, but I moved around a lot. So I would often find myself having to like sell off portions of my collection uh, when I moved into another area. Now I became more serious about like collecting films about 8 years ago. I really got into it again, and my better half shares like my passion. Like she's not a film collector like me, but she definitely loves that this is something that I love, and she supports me in it. Uh, so yeah, so this everything that you see here in the other room, a TV room, which I got a room just for TV shows, by the way, are all are in the last 8 years. So I've lucked into stuff, and there's stuff upstairs as well. I got like a glass case that has like some of my bigger stuff. Like I think Savannah asked for my me to show my Harry Potter set on here again sometime soon. I do have the big Harry Potter set. I showed down here before. I'll re-show it. I'll bring it on for like a future video. I'll go do a video where I'm going to show some of my bigger sets that are upstairs as well down the road that I've shown in like previous videos like a long time ago. Because I bought like this collection out from this guy, which actually I got a few from there, which had some amazing sets in there that I'm very proud to have. Kind of show us, yeah, I would definitely share my glass case stuff. I won't do it tonight because this video is kind of winding down, but I will tell you what in my next video, with my next big video that I do, remind me, and I will definitely do the glass case stuff. So, and I mean, I got some nice sets. I got some nice Walking Dead like special edition sets there. I've got of course the red green set because I'm Canadian. Of course, I'm gonna have the red green set, and a lot of like different like kind of cool stuff. I got the original uh, Bionic Man set. Very excited. The Time Warner one that came out. I was really excited when I got that. I lucked into that one again, and they put out the movies in that set as well. Before you can only buy them singularly. So yeah, there's a few different ones that I can actually. Do you remember my first purchase of a DVD? My very first purchase of a DVD. I bought a DVD player, and I wanted to get a couple for to play. Now I knew that the first thing that I was getting as a gift from my mom was Monty Python and the Holy Grail. So that was the one that was bought for a gift for me first. But I wanted something to play on my new fancy DVD player as I was going away from VHS, and I was going to the new world of DVD. So I was at a store called CD Plus. It's not around anymore here in Canada, and I picked up two horror DVDs at the time. I picked up the double feature. I got for free. See, I didn't get any free ones with mine. You guys are so lucky. I picked up the double feature of Wishmaster and Wishmaster 2. And I picked up Curse of the Devil by Paul Naschy. I no longer have that. Actually, it's one that I really want to get back. It was in the Wishmaster 2 was like, cost me about like 25 bucks at the time. And I thought it was amazing. I got like two movies for $25. It was incredible for me. And I picked up this Curse of the Devil, and it was in like this bin at CD Plus, and it was like $5 for a DVD, and I thought that was also an incredible deal. And that's what really got me into Paul Naschy at the time as well, was that Curse of the Devil, and it's still my favorite Paul Naschy film. But that was my first DVD purchase. Now, that being said, my first like purchase in recollecting, when I came back to collecting again, when I came back in like around 8 years ago, my first purchase was the Lone Ranger 75th anniversary set, which I bought at CD Plus. After I started a new job, I was in St. John's, and on my first paycheck, I wanted to buy myself something, a treat. Basically, I wasn't sure
if I was going to collect if I was going to collect movies, or if I was going to collect comics. That's the truth of the matter. And I was into comics at the time too. But I picked up Lone Ranger. My game library is pretty weak, actually, compared to a lot of people's. Uh, but there. But my first VHS purchase, probably Shadow of a Doubt, actually. After Hitchcock, Shadow of a Doubt, and Wizard of Oz. I think my first VHS purchase, to be completely honest, was through the Columbia Video Club. That was back in the day. I was one of those people that actually bought my and didn't just get my first date and then leave. Yeah, it was Shadow of a Doubt, Wizard of Oz. There's a couple. There's a few. There's 7 or 8 of them. But like the ones I can remember, like that I picked up. Well, I picked them up through the Columbia Club, and it was Shadow of Doubt and Wizard of Oz. My first like single one that I picked up would have probably been a Universal set. When the set, but a Universal movie. But those are the ones that stand out for me. Like as a collector, definitely stuff that I. And now it's a great time if you've gotten away a bit from physical media and you've like find you're watching a lot more streaming stuff. Like this is a really good time to start. If you've never collected before, there are so many options out there right now. Rambo 3, that's a cool one actually. Uh, but yeah, one of the early stuff that I picked up was Doctor Who, Pyramids of Mars, by the way. If you want like we want a British one, you want a British connection. One of my early like as in picking up one on its own was Pyramids of Mars. I watched the hell out of that. Yeah, I rented like a lot. I rented a lot of VHS. Of course, before VHS, I rented CDs, capacitive, enhancement, electronic discs. They were like pre VHS, and like Laserdisc didn't make it around here, so I didn't get Laserdisc till more recently. And I'm in love with the Laserdisc format. Doctor, I love Tom Baker. I love all the doctors. I don't think there's a doctor I don't like. There really isn't. Post. Oh yeah, my actually there was a show that used to come on called Talk TV, and it was like back in the days of like when like satellite dishes were around and there's channels like for everything. So Talk TV was this channel, and I went on there and I sang the Spider-Man theme song. I'm not lying. This is the truth. I sang the Spider-Man theme song to win toys for my kid, who actually won a huge like stand-up cardboard of Spider-Man from the first Spider-Man film. Tobey Maguire one. So yeah, that was a. So pre-YouTube, I was actually still going for TV, talking on TV, just on another channel. You don't like Jodie, really? I think Jodie's really good. I really do. I think that the writing is not helping her. The Christmas special was freaking out. Christmas, the New Year's special was awesome. Diving just like geek territory for a second, guys, if you don't mind. I'm a huge Doctor Who fan. I actually have a lot of Doctor Who discs over there. But I was one of those guys that was unsure about, not so much about Jodie Whittaker, because I knew the actress, I knew that she could do it, because I'd seen her in other stuff. Trust Me was, I think, the thing that won me over to know that I knew that Jodie Whittaker was going to be able to do it. I like Trust Me a lot. But I think that Chibnall was the weakest like writing on this series of Doctor Who. I think that the latter half of the series was much stronger than the first half. Well, it is. That's the thing. Because when he's not writing them, and this is the thing, when he is not writing the show, she's great. She's great anyway. She shines. But in the episodes that he wasn't writing before, she's really good. She's amazingly good. Jodie Whittaker is a really good actress. I stand by that. And she's a really good doctor, except it took a while for her doctor to catch on. And part of that is the Peter Davison thing. Peter Davison was the first young actor to play Doctor Who. Like actually really young actor. So to hedge their bets with Peter Davison, they decided we're going to put a bunch of companions in there to take the edge off, right? Jodie Whittaker is the first female actor to play Doctor Who. They put a bunch of companions in there. which I do think was to take the edge off again. There's a bit too much companion in the show now, and a bit too little doctor. Let her be the doctor. Give her a couple solo adventures. Get her companion stuck somewhere. Let her shine. Let her have her Matt Smith. You scan me. You know who Earth's protected by. Now run. Let her have had that moment. She needs that moment. What time's it here? 12:21 actually. Yeah, I know. Does that bother you too? It bothers my better half. She was all about getting a female doctor in the role. I just want I just want a doctor. Doctor Who. The fact when I was unsure. I was like one of those. I'm an old guard. Like do I? And I was like wrong. It turned out well. But like Whittaker's perfect. I mean, like she was a great choice for her. I would have preferred. For me, I know they wouldn't use her probably because she's older. But Olivia Colman was who was the female doctor I wanted. I'm a huge fan of Olivia Colman's. She's a British actress, and I'm sure you know who she is. But she was also in Broadchurch, by the way. But I thought she would have had like the kind of the dramatic chops and the comedic aspect of it as well. But I do understand, and I did think when Chibnall was chosen, like maybe they're going to go with Coleman. But yeah, I really do. Oh, thanks, Charles. I'm talking geeky. I talk all kinds of geeky stuff like movies, wrestling, games sometimes, and I'm right now Doctor Who. I'm trying to win Wolf over to Jodie Whittaker. I'm doing my charmingly best. He wasn't a Broadchurch fan. Broadchurch isn't Doctor Who, which is good because that would be really depressing if it was. But no, did you watch the New Year's special? New Year's special is actually really good, and I think that's her most shining time for me of the entire this entire series, the New Year's special. But even more so because it did this. It made the Daleks scary. They have not been scary in a long, long time. And by using one Dalek rather than a whole bunch of Daleks, we got to see how much one Dalek can scare and be threatening and kill a bunch of people. North and South, I've got that actually. I like that movie. I like that miniseries. I got North and South. I don't know if I got book 2 though. Yeah, I don't think I really hate them. It's just that they've been used a bit. Did I really hate them? Because Moffat's a huge Doctor Who fan from back in the day. He actually had a Dalek in one of his couplings episodes. He talked about him a lot. He talked about Doctor Who a lot. He was like Davis and Moffat they were fans. Davis obviously did a lot of really great stuff back in the day. But I wouldn't you over yet. Just give it another shot for Jodie. Give Jodie the chance of the second series Wolf. I think she'll win you over. I really do. I do agree that they need to focus on her a bit more, and that's the thing. It's never been a problem. It's never been a problem with her. It's been a problem with getting there. North and South. North and South was fantastic. First miniseries ever, and I own it. Rich Man, Poor Man. Yeah, they did this one before. I'm worried because the last time they didn't do Doctor Who for a year was 2016. They took it off for a year in 2016, remember? And the elections happened, and look at that went. So hopefully 2019 isn't going to be like that. Did I like the Tom Savini remake of the Night of the Living Dead? Yes, I do. Like Tom Savini, though, I also think that there was more that could have been done with it. I spoke with Savini back in I spoke with Savini back in the at a convention once. Really nice guy. I don't get where the Savini's horrible to talk to at conventions. like stigma comes from, because I had an amazing experience talking to Tom Savini, uh, actually 2 or 3 times during the convention. But he talked about Night of the Living Dead, and Remorse. That's your original. That's your favorite all-time horror film. That is a good one to go with. But what is it? I was going to say. Anyway, yeah. So Savini has always said he wanted to go back and do like another zombie film. I got to get the criterion. I don't have it yet. To like, because he feels like he didn't get to do everything that he wanted to do on Night of the Living Dead. He's always wanted to go to make what's it called? I think it's Sleeping Corpses Lie is the one he wanted to do. Wanted to kind of redo that one, and to put more of what he wanted to get in there. There's a few films that like Savini has got, like he's written some stuff that hasn't gotten produced yet, that hasn't gotten made. But yeah, I did really enjoy it. I mean, like there's I definitely, it's not as good as the original. You know, it's hard. That's a hard one to top. But like even to do like to go there and do a remake of Night of the Living Dead, it's a lofty thing to do. Manchester Morgue. Oh, you're talking about. Hold on. Living Dead at Manchester Morgue. This was one of my CD Plus buys, by the way. This is the 2-disc special edition. Blue Underground put this out. This is either, I'm not sure if it's Spanish or Italian. One of this. Because this is like Ray Lovelock, and I'm a huge fan of Ray Lovelock. Spanish, yes, Spanish director. Actually, a really good film. Honestly, though, before I saw it and I saw this like dude on the cover, I was like, I'm not quite sure if I'm gonna like this, but actually it's really good. It's actually a really good film. This is the 2-disc edition. I think there's a Blu-ray with all the stuff on it anyway, and it's got like some location features with the director, zombie fighter, an interview with Ray Lovelock, zombie maker, interview with the special effects guy, Gennaro De Rossi, and a 2000 interview with the director as well. So. A bunch of stuff on there. I'm not sure if he had like this. Did he have like dual covers? No, they had like I guess artwork on the inside. Let's see. Kind of just like a. But yeah, I remember they did like a. Oh, really? Oh, that'd be interesting to see. What's really cool is this still has the catalog, the Blue Underground catalog from 2008, when I picked this up. It's always cool to find stuff like this, like the stuff that they did at the time, stuff they put out there, like Going Under, the original Stendhal Syndrome. Oh, George Kennedy. I love George Kennedy. Already there, you can see stuff that was in print at the time. I think someone mentioned the Snuff one with the paper bag set. Set of print. There's right there. Salon Kitty. I don't have Salon Kitty, I don't think. Yes, wait, yes I do. Yes I do. I got it in the set. The Mono Kane collection I'd like to have. The Larry Cohen collection they used to do. They did Larry Cohen collection. I wonder what they put in that. It must have been God, God told me to. Let's Sleep in Corpses Lie. I think is pretty sure the one that he wants to remake. So yeah, I got I don't have everything, but I do have a varied collection. I like different stuff. I'm glad you liked it. I'm a really big fan of Deep End. I went in blind when I saw Deep End Javid, and it hit me. It hit me hard. Arthur Kennedy, George Kennedy's awesome. Hey, I like George Kennedy. George Kennedy's like super cool, and he's again another guy that played a heavy, and
big dude. I really do. I was a really huge. I'd like Arthur Kennedy. I was a really huge George Kennedy fan, and I watched Dallas too. It was Carter McKay, which also very cool. We're watching a movie recently, and it had an actor in it that I recognized. What was it called? Oh, you just might be the killer. If you haven't seen the movie, it's on Shudder. It's really good, really fun, kind of like really funny film with Alison Hannigan and the lead actor in it. I'd seen from stuff before, and he was, of course, he was the stoner in Cabin in the Woods, right? Dana Dores. I like Dana Dores. It was sad. Her life was, what happened. There was some sadness in there. Did you watch the documentary? Oh God, it wasn't about Dana Dores, but she's actually mentioned in it. It was on. I watched it on Netflix, and I want to buy it. It was a documentary about this British actress. Shudder is $4.99 a month, actually, $5, which is really good for like a horror streaming service. Hey, it's 4K. How's it going, man? The quality is great for Shudder. For me, it's one of the streaming services that I will support because it makes me buy movies. So if I see a movie on Shudder that I really like, I got to go out and buy it. I love John Waters. I'm a huge John Waters fan. Some movies are a little intense for me, like some of the early stuff, but I do love his stuff. I've always been a big fan of John Waters, even his stuff that's not so well liked, like Pecker. Actually, I like that as well. Smoking cigars aren't relaxing. Hey, right on. Don't be jealous, but I'm drinking bubbly and semi-relaxing. I got a lot of movies to put back to usual. Talked about box sets tonight. Divine. I remember seeing Divine and Tab Hunter in a movie together. It was like a Western back in the day. We had it on at our store that we owned. My mom ran a store, like a convenience store. And we had like a VHS section there. And I think it was called like Lost in the West or something like that. And it was Ed Divine in it and Tab Hunter, who I knew from like a lot of older movies, and probably also I grew up being a huge Grease 2 fan. And he's the teacher in Grease 2. He sings the song Reproduction. But he was Tab Hunter was a gay actor, and I didn't know that. Female Trouble. I know the movie, but it's not the one. I do love that actually. Oh, the Alamo. Oh, the Roadshow edition. That's cool. Only Divine you've seen is Andy Divine. You mean the old like with the voice, the Western act? No, like Divine is actually D-I-V. Lust in the Dust. Yeah, D-I-V-I-N-E was. What's the best Hammer box set to get? Oh God, I like the 21 like film, like the blocky one. But there are a lot of great Hammer sets. Like if you're starting out, and you can get like the big box is actually a little bit on the expensive side now. I don't have it down here when I do my video with my other stuff. I'll show it off. It's actually a really good set. So if you're here when I do the video with what I'll call my glass case video, so you guys will know which one it is, where I'll be showing off my big collector's editions that stay upstairs all the time. But the Hammer sets in the background, by the way, are fantastic. If you want to don't just want the horror stuff, but dude, if I'm making them, Laserdisc. Oh, I gotta get the Laserdisc. Doing the Sun. That's actually a really good Western. You find. But like the Hammer sets that were put out by Indicator over there, right? Those are really good sets. Now, a lot of them aren't what you normally expect for Hammer. Some of them deal with some different stuff. Like some Cash on Demand is on the second set. It's kind of, let's say, a suspense thriller set. It's got Cash on Demand. You got the Snorkel on there. I think that's the second set. Yeah. There's a couple others kind of thrillers. The first set does have a bit of the horror on there. Like you're going to get a Mummy movie on there. I think the Gorgon's on the first set for Indicator. Definitely the Indicator sets. Definitely get them. As they go through, I find that there are more features on each set as it goes through. Indicator was kind of finding its way with its features and stuff like that. And I do find that the features get better with each consecutive set. That's your favorite film from the second set? Cash on Demand is an amazing film. It's a great film. On the first set, I do like one. I think it's the first set. Which one has the Psychopath on it? It's going for a lot of money. I just lucked into some for Laserdisc for the first time when I was in when I was in Halifax. So I want to go back there. There's actually two locations two different locations for this shop. So I'm going to check them both out because I will buy the rest of the laser discs that I can find there because he had them at like good prices, like $3, $4 for laser discs, that type of thing. Because for them, honestly, they're like a record store and they have some movies in that. Get my trivia. They're just like moving them out, like because getting space, full treatment. Have I watched Full Treatment since I got it? Hold on, let me just check something there. I have, I think. I've watched like a couple of the Night of the Demons. I haven't watched all the different ones. That's not Hammer. That's it's a set they put out. It was highly touted this year, deservedly so. Don't Take Sweets from a Stranger is really good. Bit of a dark film. You got to be in the right mindset to watch some of these films. Like it's like you can't watch like Last House on the Left. You're going, hey guys, let's have a movie night. Let's just watch Last House on the Left. The movie crew, I like that. And you know why I like that, John Steele? Because I'm a huge comic book fan, and back in the 80s, mid 80s, there was this like comic book that came out called Captain Carrot and the Zoo Crew, and it was like Superman, but it was like a rabbit, and they had like all these like DC heroes that were like animals and stuff like that. There's a lot of stuff that to go through. That Demons box that's going to take you like over a weekend for sure. Oh, you collected Captain Carrot, right on. The first, as you know, the first appearance of Captain Carrot was in a 16-page pullout of Teen Titans, I think. I'm pretty sure it's a Teen Titans issue, because DC did that. They did have like I love the Claremont run. It's one of my favorite runs of X-Men, actually. Abominable Snowman hasn't gotten a good release yet, and as far as I know, that's still one that does need to get a good release. Yeah, Captain Carrot was, and they did a lot of these 16-page like preview things, like Amethyst, the Princess of Gem. Princess of Gem World, that one. That was also a 16-page one. There's a few different like 16-page ones that got into their own series afterwards. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that Captain Carrot originally started, it might have been a Superman comic or a Teen Titans comic. One of those two. Hey, Culture Trini. But yeah, if you don't have the indicator sets, I strongly recommend them. Very, very good stuff. They put out amazing stuff this year. But speaking, this year is called Boxset Bonanza. And yeah, definitely please hit the thumbs up. I actually really appreciate that. I've gotten like a lot of really nice thumbs up recently, and especially because there's a couple people coming here now, and I think they come here just to thumbs it down. So, I'm not kidding. There's like some people that come here recently, and it's the same two people over and over again, I think, because they thumbs it down. And I'm like, at least you came in. I appreciate that. Good for you. Though, like, if you come in and you thumbs me down, leave a comment. A respectable comment and say something. Like, don't, be decent about it. Be a man. Or be a person. The Fuller, that's going to be really, really great. Indicator are a brilliant company. So let me just grab one of the indicators. I'll just kind of give you, if you haven't gotten any of their stuff yet. Now, if you're a Fuller fan, tell you what, let's go. So I don't have to take all this stuff out. So if you are a Fuller fan, the set that they are, oh, that's the wrong one, that they are doing, that they did actually, is right here somewhere. It's all right. They put a lot of features. This was the original Samuel Fuller set that came out. This is the Sony Samuel Fuller set. You're going to notice that it's all the same movies that are on the other set. Set, $60, something like that. And I bought it like at a record store for about like 10. The indicator edition of this is amazing. They've had so many features on this, like really bumped it up. Great stuff. So that's one of the sets that they did. Now they did a Boddicker set, which I think also is one of those. I'd be kind of interested if Indicator is going to do the. Actually, I would have voted them above Criterion this year. I know a lot of people are really into the Bergman set, and maybe if I had it too, I'd be into it as well. So understand this: if you're a Samuel Fuller fan, you get to see some. What there? You get some Russ Meyer in the background. Are there any westerns on this? I don't think there's westerns on this one here. He does a lot of stuff. Samuel Fuller was kind of famous for like stuff like a lot of really good, like some like noir films, some different type of films. He definitely has like his own voice when it comes to cinema. Now the Samuel Fuller set is really good because, oh, the presentation for me, yeah, definitely exceeds criterion right now. The Fuller set basically gives you an idea of like, wait, yeah, actually, of him before he became a director, and him as a writer, because Samuel Fuller was a writer first. We get to see movies written by Samuel Fuller, and see how different like directors interpreted his screenwriting, and we get to see a few directed by Samuel Fuller. So the Samuel Fuller set really is a growth. You get to see the growth and the birth of Samuel Fuller as a filmmaker with that set. So you're going to do an Office Space. Are you 4K? So yeah, that's what I really recommend. Some people are like that. Well, he didn't direct all the movies on the set. Indicators region free? I don't think so. Let me check here. So I got a couple like just regular indicators here. So let me see where I got those put out. I know I have at least one there. Okay, so this is like my Scream Factory stuff here. Look at the. So this was the first indicator box that I ever picked up. This is the Sinbad trilogy. A lot of them are region free. As you can see here, this one right here, Sinbad trilogy, is region free, A, B, C. All region. So the Hammer ones, I think they are. Let's find out. Yep, so the Hammer set, again, region free. I'm going to see the movies on this one. The Fanatic, that's the one I was talking about before. Curse of the Mummy's Tomb, The Gorgon, and Maniac. Maniac's the one I really like. This is the second set with Cash on Demand, the Final Treatment, Never Take Sweets from a Stranger, and The Snorkel. And the third set right here, and I think that's region free as well. Yep, they're all region free. Charlie Varick's really good, actually. I think that one's sell out. And this one has Camp on Blood Island, Yesterday's Enemy, Stranglers of Bombay, and Terror of the Tongs. And I really do like Terror of the Tongs. So, of course, if you haven't got them, I do recommend these sets here. These are wonderful Ray Harryhausen sets that they put out. Again, also region free. I don't have the William Castle set yet. It was one I had originally going to pick up for Halloween. Ended up not grabbing the set. Ooh, we're getting all like. There you can see some different sets that I got right here as well. There's the. There you go. Yeah, they'll release a non-limited edition, and God, I wish I could find it. The limited edition stuff, if you can grab it, because anybody that's seen their stuff knows the booklets that they put into their films are amazing. They do an amazing job with the booklets. If you've never been into booklets before, Indicator would definitely get you into them. They do incredible stuff. Each one of those Hammer sets, each one of those films have their very own booklet, and they're thick booklets. They're well done. They're well written. Definitely. If you have not dove into Indicator, Indicator is one of the best companies coming out of the UK right now. There's some companies that I talk about this year. I'm going to talk a lot more about companies that I think aren't getting enough notice. That's why I did talk about 101 Films. That's why I talked about some other stuff. Prince of the City. Is that out? Are you serious? The gangster ones.
Hello there, Aaron.
Something here. But my phone, our above arrow, it's they both do some amazing stuff. I want to be able to like focus on on some of these companies within the coming year. There's a lot of companies that I don't think get enough like credit. And as an indicator, I think is one of the fasting rising companies, like quality companies, that's out there right now. For me, originally, I'll be honest with you, how we got into Indicator was through Sinbad, and mine and my better half's mutual like anger and hatred at the way that Twilight Time were doing their releases. So I noticed that Second Sight's amazing, and they deserve better. They deserve like more notice than they get as well. Twilight Time frustrated me with the way that they were releasing their films and were using Screen Archives, much in the way that Code Red frustrates me. And I got to talk about this. This has been bugging me. So, what is their names? What's the company that used to be with Code Red that did like stuff? They were like a later coming one. Does anybody remember? Like Dark Forces or something like that? The Dark Force Entertainment something. Dark Force. Okay. Did you see the recent like kind of like Dark Force Entertainment like what they put up? So let me go to my Facebook here. See if it's here now, because it really pissed me off. And some of you guys may know what I'm talking about. If you want to like mention it in the chat now ahead of time, feel free to do so. Because it was about a post that they did, and damn it, I can't find it now. Anyway, so basically it was talking about putting out a movie on like on eBay. Anyway, for like get this movie for like $129. Get it now at our price, and be able to sell it later on, and like scalp, basically talking about scalping in a pro way. Like, hey, everybody needs to make money. It's awesome to do like this, do this. Get out there and like low inventory. This is a top selling movie. Buy it and sell it for high on eBay type of thing. Oh, here it is. Look what coincidentally just turned up on eBay of all places. See, the price at the new Dark Force Superstore are so good that you too could make money. And it's a copper of Butcher Baker Nightmare Maker for $149. I kid you not, $149, right? And they go on to talk here about like a very pro scalpery thing. So that kind of pisses me off, man. Not a fan. They really talk about like go onto Dark Force like Entertainment. I'm hoping they're joking, but they really said no, scalpers. It's okay to be scalpers, that type of thing. 2001's amazing transfer, but it really bothered me. And I cringe when I've had to buy from scalpers, like to get like films. It annoys me. My better half has done it to get films that I like from on eBay, to basically get films that I really wanted to surprise me with things. But it always like when an actual company that's putting out stuff and they say yeah, go buy one of the last of our films and put it out for like $120 or $30, $150 for a DVD or Blu-ray, because we'd do it. We'd do it to make money. That's annoying as hell. So yeah, Dark Force Entertainment. If you do that, if you put any of your movies yourselves on eBay when they get low for $150 each, that is the epitome of greed and what you don't do as a company. So
there's my rant. Nobody heard me because you guys are talking here in the chat. But yes, Dark Force Entertainment, you kind of pissed me off. I don't have any of the Studio Canal, I think, 4K releases. I don't think I do. No, are you talking about the UK ones? Because those I don't have. Yeah, that's it. They are promoting the artificial inflation of prices. Thank you. Thank you, Filmstock, for actually mentioning it. Because, yeah, that really bothers me. It's something that I've been to talk about on my channel for a while. Oh, you liked Incubus. Thank you. Incubus is really good. If you haven't picked it up yet, like anybody here, it's one of Vinegar Syndrome's best releases of 2018, in my opinion. I'll stand by that. It's a film by Hoff, and who did, Legend of Hell House. I actually get to talk about that. There's you forgot me. That's okay, man. I actually, in an upcoming episode of Just the Discs podcast, I actually do talk about Incubus on there. Incubus and another film. So that's, I think that's coming late January, somewhere around there. So yeah, I'm actually going to be guesting on that. So Incubus is one of the films I'm going to be talking about. I'm a big fan of it. And I really fell in love with it again watching the disc. And I completely fell in love with John Cassavetes' acting style. Which I could kind of take or leave, to be honest with you, in some films, but it really works in Incubus. Because he's an improv actor. He does not go by a script. He definitely doesn't, and he will rewrite his lines. He will kind of do things like on the fly. And you got to be an actor, and you got to be at the top of your game when you're working with Cassavetes, because he is not going to go by that page, because he panics when he goes by the page. But yeah, definitely. Incubus, definitely pick it up. John, great release. One that I strongly recommend. But there you go. I guess I've talked about everything. We've talked about everything from wrestling. Thank you for the people that actually pitched in and actually talked about wrestling with me. I appreciate that, because that's something I was super excited about. It is, and sometimes I'm getting 4K releases or 4K scans, right? Oh yeah, the guy that directed Incubus, the Vinegar Syndrome release that's out there now, which I strongly recommend, Wolf, is the same guy that directed The Legend of Hell House, John Hoff. Actually, I have, and I don't own Killing of a Chinese Bookie. I think that's on the Criterion put out the Cassavetes set, and I'm pretty sure that's on it. It's been a long time since I've seen it. I'm talking VHS years long. And I remember liking it back in the day, but it's one that I really got to. I got to get that set, yeah, because that was a fantastic film, and I haven't seen it since VHS days. So the fact that I can even remember it at all is, considering, it's incredible. But the thing is that it's so hard with the 4K scans, Blu-ray, with the way physical media is right now. I can see why it's taken a little bit longer for the 4K to kind of catch on. But because I don't think Blu-ray or DVD is going anywhere anytime soon. Let's be honest, people still buy $5 DVDs at Walmart. That's still a big seller for Walmart. They're never going to take that bin out of there, man. They've just added a Blu-ray bin as well for a little bit extra. Anyway, my voice is going. I got to work tomorrow. This has been one of my longer videos again at 133 minutes. So with one last gulp of the bubbly, thank you so much for joining me here tonight in the movie library. I'm Aaron. I got to work tomorrow with this voice, unfortunately. You are the movie club. You guys are super fantastic. And hope you all have a great evening there, guys. It's been a blast. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, because some of us, unfortunately, got to sadly work tomorrow. Not looking forward to that. Have a good one. Have a great night, guys. Night all.